Welcome to your Monday Morning Pearl. I'm Steve Keck. Today, I want to talk to you about a unique situation known as performance punishment. Now, you may have experienced this on your own, or you may have accidentally done this as a leader to a top performing person in your office. And performance punishment is this. It's when you give a top performing person greater responsibilities while leaving the rest of your team to manage the normal workload. And your top performer becomes resentful that they are being punished for doing their jobs well. So if this is something that resonates with you as a top performer or as a sales leader, that you've noticed that you are leaning on a particular performer too much and they're starting to feel resentful, consider this. Performance punishment is actually more of a communication error than a punishment. And as a manager, if you've chosen to lean on a particular person because they're good operationally or they're good at getting things accomplished in a more effective manner, you tend to lean on them. So there are two things I want you to consider if you think this might be something you have either done to a top performer or if you're a top performer who feels like this is happening to you. First, it has to lead somewhere. If you are requiring someone to do an uneven amount of work compared to their peers, you have to be leading them in some direction. But if you don't communicate to them what is the end game of your trusting them to handle a greater responsibility, which obviously means that they need to be promoted, compensated, or some other gain that they need to be getting out of doing this extra work, if you don't communicate that, what you're communicating is, I'm happy for you to do more work while I'm paying you roughly the same amount of money that I'm paying everyone else who doesn't have to do that work. And thus you're creating an environment for performance punishment. Basically, teaching someone that it's okay for them to have to do more work because they're good at it, and everyone else gets to leave and go do fun things while your top performer has to stay and finish the work. This is a communication problem. If you are that top performer feeling this way, the best way is to sit down with your manager and say, I feel like I'm having to do more work than the rest of my team. And give your manager the benefit of the doubt in that they probably didn't realize that they consistently added work to your plate and not to the others because they trusted you so much with your skills. But even so, it's not your responsibility to make their life easier all day long. It's your job to work in a team. And the team is supposed to make the job easier, not an individual within that team. But if you're going to lead it soon, then maybe you do want to take on those extra responsibilities, but make sure that your boss's boss sees that it's being done. And the second thing is you need to make sure there's even accountability. If you're a sales manager relying on one or two people to manage most of what's going on, and you have several others who are underperforming and they are not being given responsibilities because they are underperforming, you have to hold them accountable. Because what's happening to your top performers is they're seeing they have to carry more of the burden while the underperformers get to walk away unaccountable. And if you don't hold them accountable for their lack of ability to improve their performance, you are showing your top performers that it's an appropriate action not to perform. And your top performer is going to leave. So if you're going to be giving someone greater responsibility because of their exceptional skills, it has to lead somewhere, and you also have to hold the others accountable for not being able to move forward to take over this responsibilities. And remember, it's all about communication. If you're going to be adding these responsibilities to a top performer because you're trying to get them ready for the next job, just tell them. And that will change this from performance punishment to opportunity. And they will see that doing these extra responsibilities is getting them somewhere as opposed to just making your life easier. So, have you created an environment where performance punishment is a potential or an actuality? Have a conversation and figure out, is it going somewhere? Are others being held accountable? And if not, what can you do to spread the wealth so everyone gets to do more responsibilities? And as always, if you need some guidance on how to navigate a performance punishment environment, reach out to us. We would love to help you, coach you through the process of becoming a better leader, becoming a better performer, and creating an environment where everybody thrives. You can find us on our website or one of our social channels.